going first? What team? What player to watch? Is it there?
Miguel Gonzalez.
Sorry, I have it here. Cool. Okay, see.
The USL
Deep into the
welcome
Rio Grande
to
Valley we
the
go for today's Western
HEB
Conference
Park
matchup.
for a big matchup between the Rio Grande Valley Toros and OKC Energy FC. Bernie Gunther alongside Albert Munoz, former MLS player. And Albert, you take a look at these two teams, we get to see one of the most technically sound teams in all of USL tonight.
Very exciting matchup tonight. I mean, I was commenting before, watching a couple of these players from Rio Grande Valley, really enticing players, technically sound players. A lot of creativity, a lot of flair, just such as Miguel Gonzalez here from Colorado. So this player is going to bring a lot of Mexican flair. He's 5'6", so he's not the tallest player, but he's very speedy on the ball. 17 goals in the last couple of seasons, so he's going to show a lot of flair tonight in our game.
You got to get that big bicycle kick that was seen by 20 million people. And on the flip side, you take a look at Eric Bird. He leads this RGV team with 7 chances this season.
Right. Eric Bird, one of the more exciting players I saw last game for RGV. He partnered really well with a couple of the players up front. So Escalante, Monroy, Eric Bird will make a difference tonight.
OKC tonight, they are going to have a 4-4-2. Really kind of trying to crowd that midfield.
4-4-2, traditional lineup. I mean, Miguel Gonzalez and Wojciech will make a difference up top. I mean, we have a lot of workhorses in the middle with Daniel Gonzalez and Rasmussen.
And for RGB, they're going to have a very offensive-minded 4-3-3 lineup.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're going to see a lot of flair from these players. I mean, Holland, Garcia, matching up with Bird. Jose Escalante, who's so young, a lot of flair. Exciting to watch.
We're getting set for soccer tonight in Texas from HEB Park. Rio Grande Valley and OKC Energy meeting one another for the second time this season. It should be a spectacular match tonight.
At Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life.
Spectacular night for a little soccer in Texas. Western Conference matchup. These two teams meeting for the 6th all-time meeting between Rio Grande Valley and OKC. You take a look at these two teams. Obviously, both of them really looking for a win tonight. Early on in the season, the Toros got 2 wins on the season. The Energy, they have just 1 win on the season. And you know, as you take a look at the atmosphere tonight, what a spectacular night. This is what you got to love, these youngsters getting to take it all in.
Yeah, the next generation. They're going to be learning from their idols. They're going to be watching these players come up. And, I mean, it's great. I mean, what's happening in the evolution of soccer here in the United States, everything's growing. It's evolving into a wonderful, wonderful outcome.
The future of soccer in America is certainly bright.
Especially having these talented players. I mean, when you have RGV come out with players like Bird and Escalante, who I'm really excited to watch again, partner up with Holland. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of creativity up in the final third against OKC. At the same time, on Gonzalez's end, I mean, for OKC, who's a player to watch, we're going to see a lot of flair from him. I mean, he's going to partner up with his midfield workhorses, and they're going to create some opportunities for him. So excited to watch this game tonight. I mean, I expect a lot of goals, hopefully a lot of opportunities for goals, but overall, a lot of technical soccer.
Well, it'll be interesting for Energy FC. It's their first match in 18 days, and it goes both ways for these teams. You sometimes as an athlete you like that 18-day break, and sometimes maybe you come out a little bit flat, Albert.
Right. So what happens is these teams usually they're placed into some kind of practice orientation. So they're going to have a couple of practice games against collegiate teams or maybe lower division teams just to continue the momentum, because you don't want to stop for that long. You have a great break, yes, in mind, but you're early on in the season. You're not tired yet. You don't need that extensive break. So what you want is capture momentum. You want to have confidence when you go into these games. So it's a double-edged sword. I mean, too much break is not that good for you either.
The Toros tonight are in orange, OKC in green, and they've got an early opportunity. It looked like for a moment there, Kyle Hyland, the defender, trying to move up. And it's going to roll out of play for a goal kick. These two teams met earlier in the month with Rio Grande getting a 1-0 win on a penalty, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, and to reiterate the tactical formations here, I was just thinking about how aggressive Rio Grande plays. They typically start out their forward line back spread out, but they have 3 in the midfield and then 3 in attack. I mean, think about it. You're playing 3 forwards against 4 defenders, so you have a better chance than 4-4-2. So since they're so technically sound, they're going to continue to try to make scoring opportunities from players like Escalante, who, again, is 19 years old, exciting player for the future. He has a lot of potential. He's been scoring. He's been playing. So he's most likely going to be bouncing back and forth from the Houston Dynamo and going back to Rio Grande for minutes, which I like to reiterate. Minutes are very important for these young players. This is what develops their confidence for the future.
Yeah, it's interesting. The last time these two teams met, Energy FC, they had a penalty opportunity in the 55th minute. It was stopped by Valley keeper Brown. Then 11 minutes later, Luna converted the penalty for a game-winning goal. Here's RGV with their first move into their offensive third, trying to get something going early on in this match. 3 minutes in. See if they get it to the near side to Green. Green trying to make a run. Trying to sneak behind the defender. And Green working on the end line, trying to get a corner, but instead it's going to be a goal kick for OKC. Cody Lorendi, their goalkeeper. He's out of Melbourne, Florida. Last year he was a top 8 keeper in 4 different categories, a member of Puerto Rico's men's national team that played in the Caribbean Cup.
A lot of Puerto Rican talent coming out of the island. A lot of players coming out and branching out to the USL and European leagues as well. So it's interesting to see the battle between Lorendi and stopping the offensive prowess of a RGV team who's looking for goals.
They find it to the feet of Green. As RGV trying to move up the near sideline. As you can expect in Texas, as we get set to turn the calendar to May, it's a warm night to play soccer, but sometimes that can be a positive for these players because obviously, you gotta like playing soccer in the heat.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, it depends. I mean, where you're from, what you're used to, but I mean, going back from my experience, I mean, I hated playing in the cold. Warm weather was always welcome. Less humidity, even better. But yeah, I mean, it definitely lets you last longer. I mean, you get your water obviously in halftime, but cold weather is going to be tough to get used to, especially in the first minutes of the game.
Rio Grande Valley won 3-1 over Colorado Springs 2 weeks ago, and then lost their last time out to the Tulsa Roughnecks. They get the first opportunity and a good look at goal.
I'm interested to see how Bird is going to match up with his teammates. I mean, he had a great flick there. He's creating. I mean, Bird played central midfielder last game. He had a couple of the attackers playing on top of him. But this time, it seems like he's being pushed forward as the striker, and he's having to let other midfielders come behind him to create more opportunities. So I'm interested to see what his position is going to look like the rest of the game today.
The Toros have had 2/3 of the possession the first 5 minutes of the match, and they're on the run once again. We talked about Eric Bird at the onset. He certainly is a force to watch up top for the Toros. Ooh, not a good touch by Green. It'll be OKC Energy with a throw-in. Of course, everybody remembers Energy FC the last time out. We saw Michael Harris with a flip throw to Miguel Gonzalez in that 1-0 win. A bicycle kick that was seen by 20 million people. What a way to be on the spotlight all around the country and all around the world.
Yeah, imagine the exposure you get from that. And then for the league, I mean, you have quality plays coming from USL. I mean, this is incredible. I mean, a flip throw and a bicycle kick all in one, I mean, and a goal. You can't ask for more when it comes to a play, an ideal play.
Free kick opportunity for the Toros. It's Jose Escalante will take it from the near side, bending ball that's cleared out.
Escalante had many opportunities the last couple games I've seen him. He's created a lot out on the flank on the right. He's a left-footed player, so he cuts in from the right. He creates opportunities with crosses and shots. So he's going to be dangerous throughout this game today for OKC.
Offsides. Toro's getting a little too greedy there. Garcia, I think he got just a step behind the defender.
Garcia's another exciting player to watch. A lot of creativity from this player. I mean, he's witty with the ball. He has a lot of flair. He has speed. I mean, he will create something with Escalante and create mayhem for any defender out there.
And while Garcia's yet to get a goal this season, he had 6 goals a year ago. Sometimes they come in bunches. You remember, struggle at first, and then once you get one that gets behind the keeper, come in bunches after that, right? They'll say he's onside. This is a great opportunity for the Toros, trying to get the first goal of the match, and they've got it. What an opportunity and a goal at home. Spectacular for Eric Bird, who finds the back of the net to get things started for Rio Grande Valley.
Right off the bat, our player to watch, Eric Bird. I mean, first of all, the pass into the through ball, beautifully placed by Holland. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better pass. And then a one-on-one situation, he goes and he takes that shutter step, dribbles the goalie, and then he places in with his left foot. I mean, exceptional finish with Eric Bird. A lot of patience on that breakaway there.
Just a big breakdown by Energy's back line. And how about Bird with a goal in the 7th minute?
Can't ask for more. 7 minutes, crucial time to score a goal. And then to keep the momentum going, now they're essentially with their momentum, they're going to go ahead and build confidence around this goal. Eric Bird is obviously riding high right now. He's going to have all the confidence in the world to receive passes. He's going to want all the balls. So, I mean, this could be an interesting game for RGV if they really keep it up now.
Bird had 6 goals a year ago in the regular season and 1 goal in the postseason. OKC Energy trying to find their rhythm offensively. They play it to the near sideline to Anthony Wallace, the defender who last year played for the Armada, who comes up. Highland making a run down the near sideline.
Just within the last 8 minutes, I mean, it really looks like it's going to be a two-way game. I mean, both teams are going to create opportunities. I mean, such as this one right here, briefly placed ball by Williams. You're going to see a lot of plays. You're going to see a lot of back and forth. You're going to see a lot of energy from both of these teams. A lot of young players, a lot of creativity. So it's going to be an exciting match. I mean, I don't foresee this being a one-sided game at all.
trying to find the feet of Vucic. Last year he played for the Indy 11 in the NASL. He's got a fun name to say.
Tongue twister.
Garcia able to get the foul called. And a free kick coming for the Toros, trying to get their second goal of the match.
There's a well-drawn foul there. I mean, Holland with a great cheeky touch there for Garcia, and then we have Escalante behind the ball. Escalante, left footer. He's gonna most likely. I mean, it seems like it's a little far for the goal. I mean, he's probably looking for a cross, but you never know with this type of player. He might scare. He might actually surprise you with a nice shot.
Escalante and Warden over the ball. Escalante chips it into the box, and an opportunity and a save. Oh, wow! Lorendi comes up big in net for OKC.
I believe an offside was called, no? Great cross by Escalante. Great chip, curve, the left, header. Oh, and Bird almost finished. Second goal of the night. It was an offside call.
But what an opportunity.
Yeah, they're creating them. I mean, right off 10 minutes in, they've had several shots on goal, and then they've been penetrating the OKC defense. So it's a lot more to come from their end. I mean, they really have that talent to really create that constantly.
And how about for Lorendi? Even with the offsides, it's got to be a good confidence booster to come up big.
Oh yeah, he came up big there for sure. I mean, if it wasn't an offside, he still blocked the ball, right? I mean, it was still in the middle of the play. A lot of talent on that goalie. I mean, he has a great sense of the field. I mean, he knows his quarters, he knows his field. Strong player there in the back for OKC.
Around the keeper for Rio Grande Valley. He really hasn't been tested early on yet. This has been the story so far. The Toros on the attack. Green sends it in. It's going to be a throw in for the Toros once again in their final third.
I really like the idea of having these players get the MLS experience, get USL experience, going back and forth to get those minutes. RGV really uses their platform really well. They know how to interchange players. They know how to give them their chances. They know how to bring them back from injury. They know how to really ease them into the professionalism that they need, the experience they need from both levels. So you're going to see a lot of fluctuation between the lineups for RGV week after week. But at the same time, it's the development for the team and the players that's more important down the line. So it's going to ultimately benefit them as a team overall.
You got to like that as a player, though. I mean, I would think from a child growing up, the biggest goal is to get an opportunity to play.
At the highest level, yeah. I mean, but if not at the highest level, because you're not there yet, you're just too young, you don't have the experience, you're obviously trying to break into a starting lineup. The fact that you get to play at a high level week after week.
Energy with a chance for the equalizer, rolls across, and Brown is there to scoop it away.
It's going to be exceptional experience. That was a great play by OKC, which again reiterates my point. They're really making it to their final third. So it's a two-way game. I mean, it's early on, 13 minutes, they have a goal up, but OKC has shown a couple of glimpses of creativity. So I mean, let's not depend on a couple of shots from RGV to call this game. OKC has plenty of chances ahead.
These are two solid teams a year ago. Rio Grande 14-7-9. They finished second in the Western Conference, but they lost to OKC Energy 3-2 in the quarterfinals, so they know each other very well. Goal kick. Been very difficult to score a goal against the Toros this season. 3 goals conceded the entire year. That's tied for third best in the USL with Ottawa, San Antonio, Harrisburg City, and Richmond, behind only Tulsa. And so that's got to give you some confidence when you score a goal and you've only allowed 3 the entire year.
Oh, of course. I mean, that rides a lot of momentum for your team, your atmosphere.
And they're going for their second here. Sends it across, and Garcia can't get to it in time. But the Toros will have a throw-in 15 minutes into the match. Bird created the lone goal in the 8th minute, sneaking behind the OKC Energy defenders.
Clinical finish there. Great one-on-one, great dribble, a lot of patience, a lot of experience finishing that goal. OKC's doing a really good job now of holding the ball. I mean, they're opening them well. They're looking for their key midfielders to retain possession. They're opening wide, looking for long passes as well, trying to connect with the forwards. So I'm liking the usage of the field. It's a very large, wide field that we have here at RGB. So it's very important for them to make the use of it. Legs will be expensed, obviously energy will be used, but at the end of the day, the ball, if they use it well, if they pass well, if they keep possession, they'll make sure, obviously, to have great opportunities moving forward.
It's a weird spot in the season for OKC Energy. Today playing their first game since April 11th. And then after today, they're not going to play until May 13th. And obviously, it depends on where you are in the season. Sometimes a break like this comes at the perfect point because you just have a couple of players that you want to get healthy.
Right.
But I would assume that you'd rather have a break like this later in the season than really in the first couple of weeks of the year.
It's tough to gather that momentum. At this point, you remember, you're only 4 weeks in, 4 or 5 weeks in, 6 weeks in. Eventually, obviously, you're in the beginning of the season. It's tough to take a break right now. You don't want to take a break. Ideally, you want to have a break, like you said. The later stages of the season, when you need a break, when guys are unhealthy, when you obviously have injuries, when you need a break, sometimes you just need a break from 12 seasons in. So we'll see how you adapt. I mean, it's a matter of obviously continuing to play. I'm sure they'll have games.
There's your flip throw.
Oh, wow, look at that. Incredible.
And it goes all the way into the box, and a chance for the equalizer. But Brown corrals it.
See the length on that? The distance? That's incredible. His feet landed right on the line and everything.
It's like a set piece from midfield, right?
I was never able to do that. I never even tried. Yeah, that is a set piece, basically, from half field.
Well, the Energy, they played a scrimmage against Tulsa a week ago, just trying to make sure that they can, I would assume, keep the legs loose, keep it in the groove of things.
Right.
Vucic, he scored 2 goals in that match.
That's exactly what they need to do. I mean, if they're going to have a gap in play, they're not stopping. They're going to be training week after week, and they're going to be playing scrimmages. As long as they're playing a game, even if it's a collegiate game, they're getting the momentum, they're getting the experience, obviously getting the minutes, the rhythm, most importantly, and they're going to have the opportunity to change up their lineup to see what works and what fits.
Wallace will throw it in. Here in the 19th minute is OK Energy chasing a goal. Goal kick coming for the Toros, who really, I feel like they set the pace perfectly in the first 10 minutes, really just pushing the offense down the pitch.
They're making use of their talents. I mean, those players, you can connect really well within each other. They can control the ball really well at any moment. Dictating the pace, the possession in the midfield is crucial. Players like Warden, obviously Ward. You're looking at Garcia, obviously coming back in the midfield. But especially Bird. Bird obviously is going to be the go-to man today. He has the confidence, and he's going to put it all together.
Toros have had the bulk of the possession so far, 55%. Just 3 shots combined between these two teams so far through the first 20 minutes. Green rolls it ahead. Nice job keeping it alive. Garcia lost it inside the danger zone. And can the Energy counter here? Vucic with the ball at his feet, plays it back.
Great possession play there by OKC coming out of the back. They're really holding the ball well. I mean, they're looking for their midfielders. And they're turning, getting out of the dangerous situations. But this is what happens. I mean, they lose possession and obviously have creative players on their attack for RGV.
Garcia looking for options. Here's the goal scorer, Bird, who scored the first goal of the match. With a right foot, serves it in, but serves it out of play.
It's a choppy game so far. I mean, there hasn't been a clear team who's dictated the pace besides the first few minutes that RGV had the ball. But now OKC is disrupting plays. They're coming up with a couple of opportunities going forward. But it's not a clear, clean game so far. I mean, I want it to be settled down. I want players to really come in and put their efforts correctly, you know, create scoring opportunities as much as possible, create some excitement for the game. But obviously it's early on, it's 21 minutes. Obviously we have plenty of time moving forward.
Another chance for Bird. Inside the danger zone with the right foot. And Lorendi is there on his line. He has been tested early on indeed.
Yeah, he's past warm-ups. At this point, he's under fire.
Garcia sending it again. Settled at the top of the box and another save for Lorendi. Didn't have to work hard because it was right at him.
That was a great trap and great shot there by RGV midfielder, but it went straight to Warden's great shot. I mean, it went straight to Lorendi, who, like you mentioned, Bernie, it was not that difficult to stop that, but maybe Warden should have done a better job to really hit it to the corner. He had time, he trapped it well, but he unfortunately struck it straight to the goalie.
It's been a big year for Todd Warden, who only played in 2 USL games a season ago.
So he hasn't had much experience just yet. Still developing Warden, but again, he had an opportunity there. I mean, maybe if he gets it again, he'll probably place it to the corner next time, away from Lorendi's reach.
It's our first set piece of the match. Kyle Highland, who scored the game-winning goal in the US Open, sends it in, and a lot of congestion. Brown somehow comes around Philip Rasmussen to bring it back. Rasmussen played the last 4 years in the Danish Super League, appeared in 101 matches, starting 89 and scoring 89 goals. Now he's come over to play in America, and that just shows you the growth of American soccer.
Absolutely. You have European players wanting to play here, or American players going abroad and then coming back and realizing that, hey, this is a standard league, this is great, there's exceptional level, there's a lot of opportunity for growth. Obviously, you can bounce back in between different leagues, which is going to be crucial for the development. And like you said, it's been night and day of a change from the last 10, 15 years in domestic leagues here.
It's going to roll out of play, and OKC is going to get a throw-in. They've done a nice job of kind of withstanding that early pressure that RGV threw at them. We started to see some good things for them offensively.
Yeah, it's difficult to bounce back from an early on goal. I mean, 7 minutes in, it's not ideal.
Michael Harris, here is that flip throw to the top of the danger zone, and a chance in front. Miguel Gonzalez almost got a goal, but Brown is there to make the save.
exceptional shot by Gonzalez. Great flip free throw, obviously exceptional. But what a turn and what a trap, what a shot by Gonzalez. I mean, this is why he's a player to watch. This is why he's so dangerous. He's number 10. He has that prototypical technical body. I mean, he's
and
very
another
sound.
Corner opportunity. Into the corner. Highland sends it in again. And Brown makes the play.
I would love to see that replay from Gonzalez's shot previously. I mean, that's a very, very sound shot, strong shot, dangerous opportunity for Brown.
One of the special things, Miguel Gonzalez gets a chance to play with his brother Daniel Gonzalez. You think about all the times as a kid growing up, that obviously happens at club, maybe in high school, but very rarely does it happen in a professional league.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's very difficult to find, and if you do, obviously you have a certain type of chemistry. Logically, you're brothers. I mean, you've known each other for your whole entire lives. But here's that replay. I mean, great shot. I mean, great reflection by Brown. I mean, the defensive play there. But it does make a difference to play with the brother, someone you've known your entire life. Obviously, you have that chemistry that's obviously uncomparable to anyone else. So, I mean, you should have a difference, maybe of a little bit of an advantage to play with your brother in the midfield, especially close by in the midfield. They're playing literally right next to each other. So that's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the game goes with them.
You think almost for sure that you know exactly what your brother's going to do, right?
Right, that he's thinking the same thing, or you're going to actually anticipate his passes. That's exciting. I mean, in my case, for example, I had several close friends growing up that we played in several club teams, high school, and then we got to play in the higher levels together. And even now, as you play, you know, different type of soccer, as a retired player, you still enjoy playing with players that you've grown up with. So as a brother, I mean, I could imagine how exciting that is at a professional level.
Energy just trying to possess it. '27th minute. Bird with a goal in the 8th minute has opened up the scoring, but still lots of soccer left to be played on a Saturday night here, a warm Saturday night in Texas. A little give and go, but OKC can't combine it. It's going to be a goal kick for the Toros.
That was a good flash of brilliance there from OKC. I mean, they developed well from the back, from their outside flank. Their defensive players looking for the center midfielders to check into the ball, turning with the ball, going forward, looking for players that create, such as Gonzalez, who unfortunately even missed pass there. But I mean, the intention's great. The intention's there. I'm seeing a lot of flashes of brilliance here from OKC.
Toros taking their time. I'm sure that the back line for OKC is certainly on high alert, because we've seen a number of Toro players sneak their way behind the defenders.
That's what they do. I mean, they're very sneaky. They're creative. I mean, they don't need many chances to create a goal.
Free kick coming for RGV. Just inside midfield. Here in the 29th minute. Green brings it to the middle. The Toros can come at you anywhere on the pitch. Back to Bird, the lone goal scorer. And it's cleared away for the moment.
Reviewing this lineup, I mean, they made some changes from the last couple games they've played. I mean, RGV, one of the last games I saw and I called, I mean, I had Monroy, I had Lucatero come off the bench, who really created some spark in the second half. Luna started, obviously, last game. He's on the bench today. He's along with Ortiveros. You have a couple players on the bench that really can make a difference when they come off, and maybe in the latter stages of the second half. So I'm curious to see what kind of changes Coach Gonzalez is going to make.
Testing the back line again. It goes all the way to Lorendi. He played for the Austin Aztecs last in the USL. Talked about the worry with that gap. Last playing April 11th, would OKC come out flat? These two teams meeting for the second time this season with RGV. Well, 1-0 win, just like this result earlier this month. It's even trickier because you haven't played in a couple of weeks, and you're playing the same opponent that you played at the beginning of the month.
Right.
But you're looking for an equalizer here, and you got a pretty good opportunity. They play it to the middle, and great defense there for RGV as Brown comes back to help out his offense. That was splendid. But OKC still with an opportunity. They've got one in the danger zone, playing it to the top of the penalty area. I wish they had that opportunity back.
And it's still there. I mean, I'm just trying to review the last couple of plays. But they keep going at it, which is great. They're persistent. I mean, they're looking to be aggressive towards the goal. Beautifully played.
Wallace sends it in, and they almost got the equalizer.
Mark my words, this is not going to stay 1-0, guys. This is going to be an interesting game. OKC has their secrets. They have their weapons ready to be unleashed. Great developing plays overall for OKC. A lot of touches, a lot of passes, great crosses here. Wonderfully stricken volley here from the outside right. If that would have been a goal, that would have been a highlight reel.
Yeah, Rasmussen just watched it roll right across the mouth of the goal, and a nice feed there from Anthony Wallace. Wallace originally drafted by FC Dallas in the 2007 MLS Super Draft. Last played at the Armada.
Yeah, RGV really needs to step up in the next minutes, because OKC seems to be catching rhythm. They're getting a couple of numbers up. I mean, they're getting the ball moving in possession. So it's an equal split at this point when it comes to possession for both of these teams, and they're both creating chances. And again, I mean, RGV has a plethora of players to really use off the bench. That's going to create more and more creativity, but I think they're just changing up the lineups to see what makes sense after the long break.
Last touch by the Toros. Throw-in coming for the Energy here in the 33rd minute. What was once a big advantage for RGV possession-wise is now turned basically 50-50. But the Toros still a big advantage with 4 shots on target to the Energy's 1. And obviously the biggest difference is the look that Bird created in the 8th minute to score the game's first goal.
I feel like RGV needs to connect a little bit more with their attackers. So the midfielders, they seem to be a little disconnected. They're holding the ball well, but the chances they're creating, I mean, they're far and few in between, because you have players like Bird, who's always asking for the ball, who's up top checking, obviously playing target man today. If he comes back too much, he's not going to have the opportunity to look for that poaching goal. So it's a matter of them connecting a little bit better. I mean, they need to be a little bit more patient with the ball. Because OKC is putting pressure. I mean, ultimately they're changing their way. They're actually increasing their energy, and it's disrupting RGV's flow so far.
Hunter gets it to the midfield. Toros just can't settle it. And now Highland trying to play it forward as the Energy trying to find the equalizer here in the 35th minute. And let's see the way that this foul goes. It's going to go against OKC. Nice crowd on hand here tonight in the Valley.
It's always good to hear your home crowd cheering you on. Let's go Toros. That's the chant. That'll definitely get you pumped. I mean, playing in a stadium, a packed stadium, with a big crowd, I mean, you really can't have any excuses to not having energy. You can obviously play it out. You can obviously play your heart out. You can obviously play for your team, your home crowd, make them proud, hopefully get a couple of goals, and then put on a show.
And they've got their next 3 here, including this one. May 13th at home against the Rangers, and then on the 20th, LA Galaxy 2 comes to the Valley. And you get those points of the season when you're at home for multiple games at a time. This is what you want to see. Up a goal, trying to add to that advantage, but again, offsides flag is up.
That's a huge advantage. I mean, they have 3 or 4 consecutive games at home. I mean, that makes a very big difference. And your confidence is going to be skyrocketed. You're going to have the same type of repetitive mindset where you're coming in and you're going to want to put on a show for your home crowd. You're going to obviously want to play to the best level possible. So it's important to know that if you have 3 or 4 games, you want to make sure at home, you want to make sure that you win them all.
Energy would love to figure out a way to get the offense heated up here. Early in the season, they've scored only 3 goals this entire year. Second fewest in the entire league. And so I'm sure at some point, the lack of goal scoring maybe becomes a little mental, right?
As you say in other sports, I mean, if you go through a slump, I mean, it's tough to break it, right? I mean, there's nothing like being able to score a couple goals every game and just riding high. But yeah, it's tough to break out of it. And when you do, hopefully you continue with that charge and it leads you to a couple wins.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're in that slump, no matter how good the chances are you're creating, you just can't find a way to finish.
It's confidence, right? If you don't have the confidence to shoot and know it's going to go in, you're rarely going to score.
You've got to find the back of the net at least one time tonight as Green trying to get to goal the second time, and he's going to help create an opportunity for the Toros here. I believe it should be a corner kick.
Green was right there. He placed a beautifully curving ball into the box. Someone should have been cutting through, maybe in Escalante or a Garcia up top, maybe Holland. But Green, the couple touches he's had during the game so far, he's made very, very crucial passes.
It's the first corner kick of the match for the Toros, up a goal. They'll play it short. Give Garcia another time to flick it in towards the far post. This is a great opportunity, and they got their second goal of the match. Beautifully created there by the Toros. A spectacular set piece. And they're up 2-0.
Just as we mentioned before, I mean, the lead up here from RGV, anytime they touch the ball well, they create chances. So beautifully placed ball from Bird on the short pass, back to a cross, and then Holland with the crucial finish, clinical finish with his left foot down. Lorendi had no chance. So well-deserved goal for RGV. I mean, hopefully they keep the momentum going. That was a great team effort for RGV.
The Toros are loving it tonight. A goal by Bird in the 8th minute, and they follow up here in the 39th minute with a set-piece goal set by Holland. They've got to love just the way that goal was constructed.
Yeah, it's beautifully placed. I mean, a couple passes in between, and then obviously the header came back in, it got ricocheted, and then he trapped it well and shot it with the left foot volley. Also a crucial time. I mean, 39 minutes into the first half. You're about to go into halftime. To go up 2-0 is great. At the same time, it's dangerous. You want to make sure you lock in your plays. You want to make sure you don't want to make any mistakes. Because the 2-0 advantage at halftime is very important for your morale and your confidence.
Well, that's why Green says, why not go for a third? And I think they're going to get another corner.
That was Holland there with the shot as well. I mean, a lot of confidence in this player, a lot of flair, exciting to watch.
So Garcia will take it again. Last time create a little give and go as the Toros score their second goal. This time chips it into the box, headed out. Garcia trying to run to track it down. The Toros, though, are going to gain possession. But they're going to take their time and try to build here in the 40th minute. You talked about how impressed you were with this Toros team, one of the most technically sound teams in the entire league, and I think we're seeing it tonight.
Even though we're missing a couple of the players that I was mentioning, the Monroys, the 18-year-olds, the Coteros, which is 19, 20-year-old flair. You know, they bring that Mexican, Colombian style. They bring a lot of Hispanic flair to the game, which is slightly different from the typical player. So it brings a lot of excitement to watch. A lot of crossover, step-overs, a lot of dribbling, a lot of creative moves. So it makes it wonderful to watch.
Here comes RGV again, attacking outside the penalty zone. And they have created yet another corner. A flurry of corners the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on OKC's defense. Even though OKC's done a really good job to defend, but sometimes it's tough to control these players. I mean, as you can tell, I mean, you get these step-over moves, you can't stop them. Then you have the combination play, you can't stop them. And you have a penetrating goal, you can't stop those goals.
Lost in congestion. And then finally, Lorendi, who's had a whale of a night, comes out and recovers it. Probably just getting some solace, just holding on to the ball for a moment.
Catch a couple of seconds with the ball in possession.
Energy gonna have to find a way to work themselves back into this match, down 2 goals here in the 42nd minute. There's been a number of just defensive lapses by OKC tonight. One that led to the first goal by Bird in the 8th minute. And then they've given up 3 straight corner kick opportunities in about 5 minutes. And one of the 3 has turned into the second goal of this match.
So quality over quantity. Quality always beats quantity, especially with these type of players. I mean, they're perfecting their trade by working every single week. You know, practicing their trade by you know, making their set pieces. They're obviously their repetition, their plays, their possession, dribbling. I mean, they work hard every week so they can actually outpour that in the game on Saturday night, and it's reflecting on their score today.
Green will settle it. Escalante had a good touch there, and Green says, I'd have to be a speed demon to track that one down. We'll give that one up.
It was a good idea from Escalante. He curved the ball towards Bird, who mistrapped it, but I mean, I'm sure I've seen this play before. I mean, he cuts it inside from the right to the left, plays it into Bird, and then Bird holds it, and Escalante gets some feedback from him, and he takes a shot. But unfortunately, Bird couldn't trap it well in that last one.
Toros are on the attack again. That's kind of, seems like it's been the story of this first half.
It's definitely been the theme. RGV, again, putting pressure constantly, attacking pressure on OKC's defense. Let's see how the second half unfolds. I mean, they're going to give an extra minute, but not much is going to change in the last couple of seconds from this first half.
45th minute of soccer. Bird in the 8th minute, Holland in the 38th minute. That's why the Toros lead 2-0. Can OKC get one of the two back here in the final minute? They've had a couple of good chances. They're going to have a throw-in, and again, having that flip throw, while it's not a set piece, it almost becomes a set piece.
Yeah, and we've seen it happen. I mean, it's going to happen continuously. He seems to be very comfortable doing it, so why not use double the length of the pass in a set piece off a free throw? This is going to be a cross, basically. He didn't use it, though.
One extra minute here in the first half. Toros got eyes for another goal. Holland gets through. Oh, wow. And Lorendi comes off his line to clear it away. Nice job there by the keeper of realizing the situation that was almost point blank going to be a goal if he didn't come off.
Oh yeah, seeing that through ball, that was a great pass. I mean, obviously it was a little far, and he read it. Like you mentioned, Lorendi read it well, and he obviously cut that pass off. That would have been a potential shot on goal at that point.
Toros not satisfied. Up 2. Saying why not try to get a third goal? What a first half.
Exciting first half. A lot of opportunities. A lot of flair from RGV. A lot of creativity. I mean, 2 goals. I mean, obviously shows the results of their work. I mean, OKC did really step up their possession, but they're looking obviously to revamp the second half.
The Toros, from the moment we kicked off here, they got things going offensively. Bird with a goal in the 8th minute. Holland with a goal in the 38th minute. And the Toros a 2-0 lead at the break.
At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here.
We are back in Texas at HEB Park, and a lot tonight to celebrate. If you're a Toros fan, you gotta love what you saw in the first half.
Absolutely. I mean, we can't ask more as a soccer fan and soccer players. I mean, everyone's getting their taste here. RGV is really putting on a show. I mean, obviously they have more possession, in my opinion, than OKC, even though OKC has brought back some exceptional play. But RGV capitalized on a couple opportunities. Bird and Holland, a couple of goals. So just looking at some stats here, I mean, essentially you're going to look at the comparison between the two teams. Shots on goal, obviously compared to possession, very, very tough and tight range. But ultimately, the shots on goal and target dictate the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, the Toros, they control the game.
When it comes to growing
the shots, really, it looks like it's a lot closer than it really was, because of the 6 shots that the Toros had, they had a number of point-blank opportunities.
Right, and OKC with their 5 shots, I mean, only 5 were on target. 1 was on target, sorry, compared to 6 shots from RGV and 5 were on target. So they're, again, their quality is much higher, and obviously the goals reflect that outcome.
And so the Toros, they get 2 goals. A goal by Bird in the 8th minute, then Holland followed on a corner kick. And it's the Toros leading 2-0 at the break. So with one more half of soccer remaining.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Was the lucky number this week, as 44 goals found the back of the net, with 4 players scoring at least 2 goals in the 4th week of the USL season. Let's take a quick look back at each one.
Flip throw again and fires it into the box. Ball comes down, setting up a bicycle kick, and it's in!
Ball in for Valesky, the touch, and there's the finish. The shot is in!
Fleming's cutting it back. Left-footed score! Silva on his left, playing it across. Dequa's header. Top of the box, great turn. Bezecourt with the right. 87th minute, they take it early. Wide open, Abidor.
The Santos Sutton off his line, shot from distance, and it's in!
Head toward the goal, and in!
Oh.
Quick throw in though, and he's found Williams. Whoa, there's 3, it's a hat-trick. Pushing forward from his defensive position. Swings it in. GB got a head on it. Don't. NFC Cincinnati. There, Harrison Delbridge is a big target. Up to GB. He shoots, and he scores! To Mitch. Here's a great opportunity. Corbin Bone into the box, across the GB, and a hat-trick. Now it's Kenny Walker. GB's calling for it. On to Walker, and GB has his 4th for the night. Banjo on the run, has the angle, bang. Side net. Davis, left-footed strike, he puts it in. The initial shot is saved, and then the follow-up.
Bends it in, right side to goal!
glory. The shot, the save, the putback is in the net.
For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life.
Bernie Gunther, Albert Munoz, glad you are with us here tonight. Big battle between Rio Grande Valley Toros and OKC Energy, and it was all the Toros in the first half. It really started with, from the point that this game kicked off, they got after things offensively.
Sure, they've created a lot of opportunities. I mean, they deserve the goals. As we see here in highlights, I mean, we're going to see a lot of attacking prowess from RGV. You're going to see essentially flank play. You're going to see crosses. You're going to see some highlights here from both ends. But majority of play has started from the beginning from RGV. As we see here in a couple of shots created by our players, by Escalante, Holland, Bird. And then you're going to see, on the flip side, you're going to see a couple of defensive plays here by OKC. But surely throughout the game, you're going to notice a lot of scoring opportunities, just like this one from Bird. Had a great through ball placed for him in a one-on-one. He capitalized on a one-on-one dribble. He placed it with his left foot. He finished well as a true veteran, experienced, and we can't even ask for a better goal than Bird's.
He had a big first half. He touched the ball 21 times, but what's more, this is the team that just kept going and going. Offsides on that play, but again, you gotta love this attack and that touch by Bird.
A lot of combination play. I mean, we have Warden with the shot here. We have Bird with obviously creation of the passes. So overall, RGV has outplayed OKC in possession, in my opinion. But OKC also woke up at the end of the first half, and we had players like Gonzalez create a couple of chances. OKC really picked up their pace, as you see here with a couple of volleys. So the second half is surely going to show a couple of chances for both teams to really step up and maybe have an equalizer and a couple of goals from OKC.
It really is an important second half for OKC, especially with the way that they have struggled this year in scoring. There's Holland with a second goal of this match, and this is really a well-designed set piece.
Beautiful volley from Holland. I mean, it came to him on his left foot. He capitalized. So hopefully more from that on the second half.
So as we get set for the second half of play, Rio Grande Valley talked about how good they were last year, finishing second overall in the Western Conference. And a lot tonight to enjoy. You know, no matter where you are in the USL, it's always festive. You got the bands out playing. It really makes it a memorable night, right?
Yeah, you have the family out, you have the kids, you have the youth. I mean, obviously, depending on the games you have, obviously you're going to have a lot of different scheduling coming up. You have home and away games. But for RGV, it's very important to have, obviously, an eye on all the upcoming games that they might have.
Got a lot of home games for the Toros. The Rangers on May 13th and LA Galaxy 2 on May 20th. They go on the road for 2 more before the Seattle Sounders 2 comes to town on June the 10th.
Yeah, so crucial 2 games coming up. Home games are very important. You want to get that momentum, including tonight's game. Even though they might have a little bit of a break, but I mean, like we said before, they're most likely going to have their scrimmages. They're going to continue training, obviously, as if they're playing their obviously main games. But it's good to see the outlook for the next couple of 5 or 6 games for RGV.
A lot happening around the USL tonight. 10 games. That's the way things look in the Eastern Conference. How about the Battery with 4 wins to begin the year?
Yeah, they're doing well. I mean, I had the pleasure of watching them play. So obviously you'll see a lot of different standings here. I mean, and surprisingly enough, New York Red Bulls has done well in playing well, but they haven't really been putting the goals to match up the results. But like I said, this is early on. Obviously, you have a lot of time ahead. You're going to have so many games. You're going to have, obviously, a lot of changes. So this will fluctuate. But for now, it's always good to see where you stand on this spectrum here.
And in the West, this is the way that things look. It's been an interesting start for the West. Some of the other scores around the league tonight, an active night. We told you that there were 10 games in total. Bethlehem Steel 1-0 win over FC Cincinnati. The Real Monarchs took down the Rangers 2-1. Whitecaps and Republic finish in a tie. We saw the Rhinos earlier with an explosive offensive opportunity. They won 4-0 over the Charlotte Independents. Charleston Battery, they got another win tonight. It's a team that really is on the rise, or excuse me, a tie as they tied the Ottawa Fury, but still a point, which is obviously an important thing. Tampa Bay Rowdies with a 1-0 win. And a couple of late games tonight. Sounders right now are leading Colorado Springs by a goal in the 71st minute. That in this game, the final 2 games of a busy Saturday on the final week of April.
Yeah, we've had the pleasure of watching, as you mentioned, Rochester and Charlotte the last game, and this has been a true pleasure as well. I mean, we have a lot of expectations here for the second half. Here, Junior Gonzalez, a good view of him, exceptional coach, a lot of experience. He's been in the MLS rankings as well, so he brings a lot of experience to this RGV team. He has a big influence on the actual technical culture. So, expecting a lot from the second half from both teams. I mean, I'm really interested in seeing how OKC brings back from this deficit at halftime.
Right, getting set for the second half. It's going to be really interesting to see what adjustments made by the Energy.
It's early on. I mean, sometimes coaches decide to make their changes maybe at the 60th minute, 65, 70, towards the end of the game, just to have some fresh legs. Because if they're catching momentum for the first half, typically players don't want to be subbed out at halftime. I mean, that's usually going to disrupt the momentum of the team in general. So we'll see what these teams decide to do in the next couple of minutes, if anything in the next 20 minutes.
We'll see if the second half begins the same way that it did for the Toros in the first half, where they just continue to push the pace offensively. Energy. Offsides flag is up. Looked like it was a pretty good ball sent down the field.
That was a great through ball attempt, but it was a little late. You know, obviously he took off before, but it's good to see OKC penetrating forward. I mean, they use their flank play, their speed up top. It's gonna obviously disrupt RGV's rhythm with their possession.
There's Bird. He scored the first goal of the match, stepping up, trying to win it. You get the sense that these two teams is trying to figure out what another should be in the second half of this match.
It's great to hear the drums in the background. It's great to hear that enthusiasm from the crowds. You know, it really gets you going as a player, as a team, playing at home. I mean, so it's good to have that band behind you.
It's amazing how this country has grown to really love soccer.
It's definitely
over the last decade.
For a while, it was an acquired taste, I would say. But really, it's undeniable now, the evolution of soccer. I mean, it's here, it's present, it's growing, it's not stopping. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. We have the new generation coming up. Our children are obviously our future players, the ones that are 10 years old, aspiring for MLS leagues, USL leagues. And we have the 20-year-olds now that already have that development league, that MLS league, the USL. So they have everything to aspire for at a very young age. I mean, you have 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds already playing at these levels. I mean, so it's really rare to find 20 years back to find an 18-year-old coming out of high school and playing the professional ranks and then making it to be a World Cup veteran, because the experience is not there, the backing is not there. But nowadays it's completely different. Now you have a handful of players that are already playing top tier, moving back and forth from MLS to USL, and so it shows great promise in what the future holds for the U.S. soccer.
And of course, next week the PDL, or the Player Development League, kicks off. We saw Brown, who's on the pitch tonight. He's played for a number of teams in that development league, and it's really served the last couple of years as a great pipeline both into the USL and also into the MLS.
Of course, and it's going to be ever growing. I mean, it's going to be commonplace to have the 15-year-olds wanting to jump into professionalism at a much earlier age. Before, it was always the collegiate path, you know, the scholarship path, which is great. Obviously, education is very important. But if you want to aspire to compete in world soccer, I mean, we have to develop our players at a much younger age, and just give them that environment, you know, the experience that the kids in Spain, the kids in Colombia, the kids in obviously anywhere in Europe, Brazil have at age 10. We never had that. Now we do have those academies, so it's very important.
Of course, the PDL kicks off next Wednesday, May 3rd. Amazing to think that we're in the final weekend of April.
Time is flying.
Hard tackle here on Daniel Gonzalez. And we'll see if this set piece opportunity provides the spark that OKC needs to try to work their way back from a 2-goal deficit.
All it takes is a set piece for OKC to get back into this game. If they do happen to score and they bring it down to a 1-goal deficit, it will change the pace of this game. They will both elevate their levels, their energy. So I'm looking forward to that type of situation.
Driven through. Looked like a pretty good ball.
Yeah, it was a great cross. They're dangerous balls. I mean, anyone can flick that ball. A defender can even ricochet off the post, and it could be a goal for OKC or for RGV.
Cody Andrews, the defender, had eyes for the back of the net. Came to OKC from the Missouri Comets. Last year he played the entire season with the Energy, starting 41 of 43 games. So far, Brown's had a pretty quiet night. He's got a save on the only shot that he's faced, and he's claimed 2 crosses. On the other side, for Cody Lorendi, he's been a lot more active. 4 saves, 6 shots faced. And of course, the 2 that he didn't save found the back of the net for the Toros, and that's why they lead by 2 goals here in the 52nd minute.
Yeah, he's had a good showing. I mean, you can't blame him on these goals. Very tough shots to block. But overall, I mean, he's showing his presence. The stock is rising. Obviously, he's ever present in the back. So as a team for OKC, you got to feel comfortable with a goalie of that caliber.
Kind of a dangerous ball play back as he's got to use his feet, but confidently plays it forward. But the sequence has kind of turned into a little disaster, an opportunity for the Toros here in the 53rd minute. But the danger cleared away. Got to be so careful with what you do with the ball when you're on defense.
Yeah, you could easily produce a counterattack against your team. I mean, that's why midfielders and their possession is so crucial. But even if it starts an attacking third, I mean, you have a player like Garcia who gives up possession. That just snowballs into momentum for OKC, and then it develops into an attack for OKC in the final third. So possession is so key in soccer. Control. You have to make sure, obviously, you don't create any dangerous plays against your team by losing possession in the midfield.
Randy steps up to take the free kick. And they'll say it was last touched by OKC. It'll be a throw-in coming for the Toros here in the 54th minute. OKC trying to be patient. Rasmussen lays it back, and they're trying to bring it up from the defense. This is Mickey Daly. They're trying to get Coy Kraft. It'll go out of play, and Garza will throw it in for the Toros. They're going to back him up a couple steps.
So we're reaching the 55th minute. It's interesting to see what these coaches are going to decide in reference to making their changes. I mean, at this point, it's going to be OKC making a must change in the midfield and the attacking third. They need to create some kind of flair, some kind of opportunity making player, and also for RGB, maybe a reserve player for the midfielder, someone who's going to obviously bring in fresh legs as well. So I'm just interested to see. I'm interested to see what kind of changes we're going to be making here.
Energy back on the attack. Coy Kraft headed to the danger zone, uses the left foot.
I love that play from Kraft. I mean, cheeky crossover, pulled it out to the left side, which is his strength leg, and then attempting the shot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, that's a curved shot. I mean, that's the angle he needs as a lefty. That's typical of a left-footed player cutting in from the right, so he needs to keep that up. That's obviously what OKC needs as an attacking third.
As much as they've struggled finding the back of the net, sometimes it takes a play like that to find the back of the net that just sparks your offense.
Absolutely.
Looked like it could have been a handball. Instead, they'll play forward. This is Harris. The defender coming up from the back. A little uneasy with the passes, but OKC still controls it. This is Gonzalez. To Harris. And a goal kick coming for the Toros.
So play has definitely calmed down. I mean, both teams are really trying to keep possession. They're trying to hold the ball. Really trying to filter out what they're trying to do for each play, because plays like this, where they lose possession, obviously quickly turns into a dangerous situation.
In a spot, OKC trying to get one of the two back. But they just struggled in that final third of putting together the passes at the right moment. They've got to be disappointed with that effort.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're struggling to really put something together. I mean, players like Gonzalez needs to step up. Really need to be that go-to guy who commands the ball in the middle and really creates some kind of through ball or scoring opportunity.
Does the Energy have another surge? They're going to get a throw in here in the 58th minute. Will we see that flip throw? Highland with a long throw in. Found one head, but easily cleared to midfield. And then a whistle well away from the action.
It's interesting to see how they've changed Bird's role here tonight. The last couple games I saw him play, he played in the center midfield role. He was playing more like a two-way center defensive midfielder, as well as, you know, supporting the attack. But today, as an attacker, I mean, he's been isolated. He hasn't had that support behind him from the true attacking midfielder or even a central midfielder. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do to change in the midfield to maybe allow him to be more of an assist man, or vice versa, bring him back to the middle and then try to bring in a new fresh player up top. Because either way, he's doing well, but he's gonna get tired very rapidly.
Take another look at the injury. Escalante looked like maybe took one right on the chin.
It looks like it. Escalante, exciting player. He has a lot of potential for the future as well. Left-footed striker. He really linked up well last couple games with players like Luna and Monroy when they came in towards the end. So I'm wondering why Luna's not playing tonight. I mean, he was the lone striker last couple games. He scored a couple goals. And he really brought a lot of players to the team. So maybe they've cut back Bird to the midfield and they bring a player like Luna in. Maybe it can make a difference for RGV.
Looks like he just needed a moment. It's a very physical game.
Yeah, so far it's been very physical. And you're getting to that 60-minute mark. I mean, exhaustion starts kicking in, obviously. Your fresh legs are gone. They're going to make a substitution here for that reason. So we'll see who comes in for Escalante.
So they're going to bring Jose Baril in to take the place of Kyle Highland. Baril played 3 seasons with Harrisburg City Islanders, appearing in 77 games, scoring 11 goals over those 3 seasons. Also going to bring Alex Dixon in to take the place of Vucci.
So there we go. We have 2 fresh legs coming in, 2 pair of fresh legs. You have Baril and Dixon attacking midfielder and a forward. So OKC is really pushing their chance here to really try to create a chance to score some goals.
Dixon really a great story because he grew up playing in the Houston Dynamo Academy, played the 2010 season with United in the PDL, spent 3 years at North Carolina, and then got a chance to sign with the Dynamo in the MLS as a homegrown player.
That's so
That's the
interesting
story
to
of the
hear.
future of soccer, right?
Absolutely. Homegrown. That's what we need. We need to create them and develop them within our leagues, and obviously keep them here so we could keep developing our leagues. That's the key. I'm interested in what he brings to the table today.
Energy trying to find the energy here in the 63rd minute, trailing by 2 goals. Here's Dixon into the game. Try to serve it over the top, but the back line is there. And they worked so hard to keep that in play. That was Daniel Gonzalez racing over to the near sideline, trying to save it before it went out of play. Escalante, you see, still stays on the pitch. There's that flip throw.
I just can't get over the distance. It's incredible. The momentum that captures when you flip over.
It's such a weapon that the Energy have. Of course, we talked about the story. Harris flipping it to Gonzalez, bicycle kick, a goal that was seen by 20 million people. #1 play on SportsCenter, got play internationally, BBC, other networks got to see it as the Toros look for their 3rd goal here in the 64th minute. And that's going to be a corner kick, I believe. No? Yeah, it will.
Great effort by OKC to retrieve that ball, but unfortunately he came a little short. Creates another opportunity for RGV here on the corner kick. If this is well served, I mean, Bird could find himself trying to penetrate the defense here with the goal.
Sal Holland created his 2nd kick right to the side. Oh, wow! What a save by Lorendi, flying across and saving a point-blank shot by Jose Escalante.
Beautifully struck. I mean, great save by Lorendi, but what an attempt by RGV. That's the type of player you want, and Escalante is the type of player that you want the ball to connect with.
Lorendi has been tested tonight. Of course, 2 have gotten behind him. That's the difference in this match.
Just notice how they haven't made a change though. RGB is still with their original 11. OKC made their change earlier on, and let's see if by 75 minutes in they'll make a change to give some fresh legs into the pitch.
.15 minutes of soccer remaining. 2-0 Toros on top. Energy, they've struggled scoring all season long, chasing 2 goals. Both happened in the first half. These 2 teams meeting for the 2nd time this season. Luna was the difference in the first meeting. Sometimes it's just how the schedule falls. Toros are going to come away with it, and they had an opportunity, but how about the defense there? See if that turns into an opportunity as the Energy look to counter. Good ball fed into Coy Kraft. And he's going to create a corner kick.
Really well developed by OKC there from the back. A couple touches in, and then they obviously had a breakaway into Kraft on the right, who is crafty by style. He could literally create a play with his right foot, as long as obviously with his left foot as well. So he's bringing a lot of creativity here for the second half of the game here.
Easily cleared by Charlie Ward. Kraft was acquired on loan from FC Dallas. And he's watching right now as the Toros, they got their third goal of the match. Another defensive breakdown for OKC's back line. And Escalante, who took that elbow to the chin earlier, celebrating a goal now that's got the Toros up by 3 in the 68th minute.
Escalante's been working hard the whole entire game, and he showed his efforts here. He really put some from force, and then with a lot of class, slight touch around the goalie, Lorendi. Great finish by Escalante. I mean, typical of him. He's a very, very classy player, left-footed, beautifully executed goal here.
The Toros a number of times have found a way to get past OKC's back line. 2 of the 3 goals have happened that way tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes to show a little pressure. I mean, defensive breakdowns can really create opportunities. And if you know how to finish like he does, I mean, it just seems so simple. I mean, that was an exceptional touch that he made around Lorendi, who's had a great night, unfortunately, but doesn't reflect on the scoreboard.
Escalante, 3 goals, 3 assists a season ago. He's got a goal tonight against the OKC Energy. And now OKC is in a lot of trouble. Down 3 goals.
Yeah, Bernie, as you saw in last game, I mean, it's tough to recover from 3 goals. I mean, nevertheless, if he gets to 4, it's going to be even more of a challenge. But, I mean, still have a good 20 minutes left in the game. Anything can happen. OKC has had their chances, and as we see here, they have another set piece, basically. So, I mean, that's not discounting just yet.
Harris. They'll just throw it in. Pretty good look, though.
Was that Green that got knocked out? I think he hit the post.
And dangerous there. It is Green. As Brown tried to clear it, Green was doing everything he could to try to make sure that ball did not find the back of the net. And as some extracurricular activity.
Referee needs to take control of the game here. I mean, I'm not sure what's going on here on the side, but I know Green struck heads with the post, which is pretty dangerous. Hope he's okay. See the replay here. Great set piece here across from OKC.
Hit the post, right?
Almost in. Oh,
Dude, that was a good
yeah, he
shot,
did.
right?
He did strike his head with the post.
And it almost looked like he was pushed by
He was pushed.
Miguel Gonzalez into the post.
Yeah, that was a push. Seems like he's recovering, so. Yellow card handed to Gonzalez for that play. He did push him. I mean, obviously it wasn't intention to strike the post, but he did push him, and he did hit into the post because of the push.
So Gonzalez will get a yellow card. But the Toros, they got a 3-0 advantage here in the 72nd minute. This could be an opportunity, though, for OKC as they get through, but the shot goes wide. The best opportunity of the night for the Energy, and it was Alex Dixon who came off and provided the spark off the bench.
A homegrown player. I was just going to mention that this should build some momentum the last 18 minutes or so for this game for OKC. Gonzalez with a nice little through ball to Dixon, providing that shot. I mean, that's great to see.
Kyle Murphy's going to come to the game for the Toros and take the place of Escalante, who scored a goal in the 16th minute.
Good look at Murphy here. Murphy has had some great chances in the last couple of games. He is coming at the end of this game to provide some fresh legs for Escalante, who had an exceptional showing. He had a beautiful goal. So it's expected to make some substitutes at this time. I mean, for both teams, especially RGV now that they haven't made any subs. I'm curious to see who else is going to be subbed out. Maybe Bird, who's had an excellent showing, who's run the entire game. Holland as well, they put a lot of effort, but maybe it's time to give him a little bit of a rest tonight.
Yeah, I mean, again, obviously there's still time remaining in this match, so you're not necessarily looking forward to the next one, but you're feeling pretty comfortable up 3 goals, and if you can give somebody else an opportunity and make sure you are fresh for the next match, obviously the more power to you. A nice switch there by the Energy, it looked like for the moment, but it was cleared away and upfield by the Toros. Throwing coming for OKC here in the 75th minute. And Leo Ayala, excuse me, Daniel Jackson, I should say, who last played with the Carolina Railhawks, is going to come to the match. He appeared in 2 matches last year for Energy before suffering a season-ending injury. One of the fastest players on this roster, so it'll be fun to watch him.
It's always good to watch a speedy player. I mean, it brings obviously a lot of energy to the game. Obviously, it disrupts the defense. So put him together with Dixon, who's also very speedy up top. Exciting to watch.
Settled down and controlled by OKC. They try to feed it through. That doesn't fool the keeper Brown, who easily comes off his line to corral it.
Now, Bernie, as we spoke last game, we had a similar score here between Rochester and Charlotte. They were up 3-0, Rochester. In this case, RGV is up 3-0 towards the later stages of the game. It's crucial, like you mentioned, they have a lot of players that they want to rest most potentially. They're making some subs, but they tend to have to be smart. They have to make sure they get the possession in. They don't want to obviously injure any players. They don't want to be too risky and exposed with their plays. It's a matter of getting the momentum, just making sure that they get the reps in with the touches, hold the ball well, because at the end of the day, 15 minutes left, I mean, the chances for 3 goals, I mean, it's not impossible, obviously, but they could secure themselves with some comfortability here, knowing that they're going to hold the ball well.
Well, looks like they're going to have an opportunity to get one back here with a free kick just outside the penalty area.
Gonzalez has showed up. He showed up in the second half. I mean, he's created some danger against RGV here. So Gonzalez deserves some kind of either assist or some kind of shot on goal. Hopefully, maybe a goal, because he's definitely stepped up to his reputation for a player to watch here today.
Will will take the free kick. He grew up playing soccer in Spain for the Real Madrid Academy. Started playing the beautiful game from the age of 7. He takes the free kick here in the 77th minute. Trying to get one of the 3 back. Nice little play there. But it's cleared away. It looked like it might have some promise. And they'll say that Rasmussen is onside. But Brown makes a diving grab.
Like we mentioned before, OKC's really made an effort here in the last 15 minutes. I mean, they're trying their best to penetrate the defense on RGV side, but it's not easy. I mean, they're playing well, RGV. They're playing strong. They've obviously have the momentum. They have the confidence. But we can't say that OKC hasn't created their chances. They really have, and unfortunately, they haven't had the opportunity to capitalize on their efforts.
Dangerous tackle there on Todd Warden. I'm sure as the game presses on, being down 3 goals can be really frustrating. Offsides.
Previous game we noticed that we had artificial turf, and we made a couple comments on it. But this field looks perfect. This grass really looks really well kept. I mean, it really assists players with their touches. I mean, essentially it helps them with their legs. Of course, they're not as tiresome as a turf field, but the touches are on. Obviously, the ball moves at a certain pace. I mean, you really can't make mistakes with traps. So it's always a pleasure to see a well-kept stadium as a player, as a former player.
Probably makes you want to feel like getting out there and playing, right?
Oh, absolutely, I'm not gonna lie. Coming from some of the fields we played in the past, I mean, which have pure potholes, irregular turf. I mean, it's really a sight to see here with these stadiums here for the future generation.
Bernie Gunther, former MLS player Albert Munoz on a Saturday Night Soccer 10-game slate. This is the final game to wrap tonight. And if it holds the final 11 minutes, the Toros, they're going to get a much-needed 3 points at home. Right now, the goal is to try to mess up this clean sheet. Michael Harris, the defender, with his left foot, but it was well off frame.
Not a bad attempt. I mean, obviously, shot could have been better, but a great lead up there by OKC with their touches. They have to just create more of that type of opportunity. I mean, a lot of consecutive passes are great, but when you get a shot on goal, or at least an opportunity to take a shot on goal, you have to make sure that it's obviously on target to increase your chances to score. I mean, that's logical, but sometimes it's just difficult. I mean, you have good defense pressure doesn't allow you to really focus on a proper technique when you take a shot. So kudos to RGV for that defensive prowess that they have.
Looks like the Toros are going to make another substitution as they try to get their 2nd win of the year over Oklahoma City.
I would predict they're going to most likely rest one of the attackers or maybe a midfielder and bring in another midfielder or maybe a player like Luna or someone who's had some experience holding the ball up front. That way they could keep possession. Obviously, they could continue creating chances for goals. But I guess we'll see who they sub in.
But it's going to be Luna. He had the penalty kick goal in the 67th meeting, or 67th minute in the previous meeting this season. Taking the place of Garcia, who has had an active night.
Oh yeah, great effort by the youngster. But I'm curious to see what Luna brings in the last final minutes. He had a goal a couple weeks ago. So Luna's a strong presence up front, a lot of experience. So hopefully he'll get the ball a couple times, maybe get a couple shots.
Luna, former FC Dallas player. On to play the final 8+ minutes. I'd assume there probably will be a handful of minutes added as stoppage time. The Toros did all the work they needed right away in the first half. They attacked, they attacked, they attacked. Bird got a goal 8 minutes in, but they were relentless with Holland adding the second in the 38th minute. They added one more in the second half with Escalante scoring in the 73rd minute, and that's where we stand here for the final 7 minutes of play. The Toros with a 3-0 advantage over Oklahoma City.
Bird came in with the hard tackle there. Bird has worked the entire game. He's such a workhorse. I mean, the last couple games I saw him play, the same type of effort. Exceptional performance tonight. Great goal in the beginning, and obviously just his work ethic has been above average there.
Mickey Daly's shaken up. He's been a real workhorse. Last time he split time between the Bethlehem Steel and the Carolina Railhawks, appeared in 34 games and logged over 2,700 minutes. It's a lot of soccer. It's going to be a goal kick.
RGV has the opportunity now to really hold the ball. The strategy would be hit it up to Luna, try to get the target in, hold the ball, lay it off, make a couple of runs, and maybe create a couple of shots on goal, but nothing more than that. And they really don't need to expose themselves to any risky play. Like you said earlier, Bernie, they've done what they've needed to do. They've capitalized. Now at this point, they have a couple of fresh legs up front. And hopefully Luna just holds the ball well and really just possesses the ball the last 5 minutes or so.
The energy, it seemed like they had their moment back in the first half. The early goal by Bird kind of set a shockwave to the system, and it seemed like around the 15th minute they settled down a little bit, had a few opportunities. But I think they're certainly going to go back to work thinking about holding that back line because of how many Toros we saw somehow sneak their way through.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot to work on. I mean, all these teams need to continuously improve week after week. Just because they're winning 3 or 4-0, Rochester, for example, earlier on today, RGV today, I'm seeing a lot of gaps on both ends, though. They both need to work on efficiencies, obviously. But overall, I mean, they've had a great showing. They're going to obviously move on with momentum. They're going to obviously give opportunities to other players as well. So like I said, and I always say, I mean, I'm just very, very excited to see what this league keeps growing and the quality improving and the following obviously happening. So it's great stuff so overall.
Looks like RGV is going to hold off for a moment on the substitution. As Oklahoma City about to take a free kick. Not a bad try from well outside the penalty.
Thought it ricocheted off of a RGB player, but it was a choppy shot. Good attempt.
Now looks like TJ Castor ready to enter the contest here for the final handful of minutes of this matchup from the Valley.
The last attacking player left to be subbed out for RGB, Holland, who had obviously a beautiful goal, great strike. The tangent up front, the tripod here, Escalante, Garcia, Holland, great showing for the entire game, but now they're resting. So they brought on Luna, obviously now Kasner bringing some fresh legs. So it's a smart move on RGB's side. They're prudent about their changes, proper moments in the game. So, I mean, this is smart on their end for their future games.
Final 2 minutes of play, with the Toros up by 3. What an offensive showing tonight for RGV. And now their goal, make sure it's a clean sheet for their keeper, Brown. We've got to hold on for just a handful of minutes more. Daniel Jackson. Daly. Energy thought they had an opportunity. Instead, a card is going to be issued here in the 90th minute as Rasmussen is tripped up.
Yellow card issued to RGB FC Toro, Todd Wharton.
Todd Wharton.
Dangerous player by Wharton. I mean, it's kind of unnecessary at this point of the game to slide tackle that way, but I understand his sense of urgency. You never want to give up a chance. Hopefully Brown here takes care of business for RGV in the last minutes.
Free kick for the Energy, right against the wall. And they do their job. A great play by TJ Castor. 4 minutes of stoppage time added to this contest. And you gotta love that if you're Brown. Big opportunity for OKC to at least get one back. And you come up with a great clearance.
Junior Gonzalez there. Really like his style. I really like the mentality he brings to this team. Again, I always reiterate the technical ability these players have and they possess. They really put it into fruition in these games, and it really reflects on the scoreboard. So it's always delightful to watch these type of players come together, score these goals for the fans, for the home team. So it's a great showing for RGV tonight.
He's got that championship experience, winning a national championship collegiately with UCLA.
That makes a world of difference when you have a winning coach.
Toros are just going to play it back, and why not? When you're 3 minutes away from a 3-0 win.
Just open up the field, touch it around, keep it, stretch it out, hit it to Luna. Just make Luna run, he's fresh.
Big spot in the season for RGV with a bunch of games at home. So important for them to get 3 points. They're going to pick up their 3rd win of the season. That'll give them 9 points on the year. Can you remember as a player how big of a difference getting that win versus the tie is?
It just changes your morale completely. I mean, it dictates the pace for the next week's practice. So you're gonna come in Monday fresh, excited, willing to practice and willing to do 2-a-days if you need to, obviously, especially after a win. I mean, when you get a draw or you lose, obviously you lose that spirit. It breaks you a little bit. You have to recapture it the whole entire week. But it does make a huge difference when you're on a winning team, when you have the momentum week after week. It really makes a difference in the player and the team.
Taken away by Garza. And Lorendi, who's had an active night, will corral it in goal for the Energy as they're set for the final minute of play. It all started in the first half. 8 minutes into this match, Bird found the back of the net, sneaking his way behind the OKC Energy back line. I said, why not try to get another?
There we go. That's what Kastner is doing now. He's just holding the ball, killing some time, creating a foul. That's typically what you do in the last, 30 seconds of the game.
A big 3 points tonight for RGV as they get a 3-0 win over Oklahoma City at home.
Convincing showing tonight by that man here, Junior Gonzalez and his team. Exceptional play, exceptional movement, great goals. So very interesting to see what they're going to come up with the rest of the season, this RGV team. A lot of youthful, great player, well-rounded players, great scoring opportunities.
2 goals in the first half and a goal in the second. Valley FC with a win tonight. We'll wrap things up when we come back.
At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life. At Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're over 700 physicians and 1,200 nurses, researchers, and educators using innovative medicine and the most advanced technology to offer world-class health care here at home. As the only locally owned and operated hospital in South Texas, we are deeply committed to our community and its health. Doctors Hospital at Renaissance Health System, here for you for life.
We are back at HEB Park in a big night to celebrate. If you are a Rio Grande Valley Toro fan, you got to see a lot of offense tonight as the Toros, they pick up a 3-0 win over the Oklahoma City Energy.
Yeah, great night for that man right there, Escalante. I mean, clapping it up. He had a great showing. He put in his efforts, and I will see in the highlights now. I mean, it was a contending game, very competitive on both ends. I mean, from the start, we had a lot of opportunities. RGV did create some initially right off the bat, but at the end of the day, I mean, RGV did capitalize. They scored a couple of goals, and as we see here on the
they got
breakaway,
after it from the moment they said go.
Oh yeah, we had Bird here with his beautiful breakaway. He had a one-on-one opportunity. He dribbled well, and he slotted in with his left foot. So crucial clinic finish here from Bird right off the first 8 minutes of the game.
So Bird started the flurry of scoring, but Rio Grande Valley, they just continued to get chances. This is the day for Lenardi. He continued to be tested on his line time after time. Point blank shots, that one by Warden missed, but moments later in the 38th minute, they did find the back of the net as Holland scored in the 38th minute.
Beautiful volley strike by Holland here. And then they continued going. I mean, obviously that was the first half. Obviously towards the second half we had more opportunities for both teams. OKC really did show up. They really attempted to really create some opportunities. We had some rough play, as you see here in a couple of these highlight plays. But at the end of the day, RGV is the one that came up on top with another excellent opportunity towards the end. But overall, we had some crafty plays by Kraft here. He had an attempt here for OKC. But I mean, at the end of the night, we were 2-0 here with RJV on top. And towards the end, we had one more beautiful opportunity by Escalante, who came up with his shot. He almost scored a beautiful one-strike corner kick volley. And then at the end, he came up with a beautiful goal to make it 3-0 for RGV.
Take a look at our final stats in this match. And interestingly enough, look at OKC Energy. They actually had more shots on goal, but obviously, or more shots, but obviously the big difference is the shots on target. Yeah. Only 1 of the 13 was on frame. Meanwhile, 8 of the 9 for the Toros. That's a very high percentage right on the mark.
High quality, high quality. And possession, equal possession, but 3-0 marks it all. Big difference there.
A big night for the Toros as they pick up their 3rd win of the year. They now have 9 points in the Western Division. A brilliant night of soccer from the Valley as the Toros get a 3-0 win over OKC Energy. For Albert Munoz and our entire crew, Bernie Gunther saying good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.